Would you be okay with us getting to know your story?
Yep. From the beginning?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me see, where do I start?
So you have been affected by the criminal system before?
I came close to it somewhat.
Would you mind telling me your story?
Yes, I got you.
Okay.
When you're getting in trouble and doing things that you're not supposed to do, your first thought is not jail. You don't think of jail. You don't think of that. You hoping you don't go there. You don't. That doesn't even cross your mind. It's once you get there, that's when your mind start working and thinking like, oh wow, like this is where I ended up.
Already being young too, like not being in the position where you want to be in life, you just try to take shortcuts. Already having that mindset like you ain't got nothing to lose, stuff like that.
What do you think that we as community members can do?
To help me?
Yeah, or to help anybody.
To be honest, I don't even know.
I am a barber entrepreneur.
Okay, and what's the name of your shop?
Royal Treatment Barber Parlor.
Okay, so Trey, tell me a little bit about your story that led you to incarceration.
Was raised by my uncle here in Savannah. Wasn't raised by my mom. My mom was on drugs. My dad was in and out the picture. And I just wanted to sell drugs. Family sold drugs, that's what we did. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world to sell drugs, so I sold drugs. Didn't listen, got caught doing more stuff than just selling drugs, and I ended up getting incarcerated behind those things.
And how long were you incarcerated?
All together, let's say a year or so. When I got out, I didn't right away become better, but it took some time for me to understand that it was more to life than just drugs and money.
I almost went in for false accusations. So it was at a young age. I was probably 14 years old, hanging with the wrong crowd and stuff like that, wanted to be all young and reckless. It was one day, I guess they were going into downtown doing dangerous things. They were accountable for theft, trying to rob someone and stuff like that. And me being known to hang out with that group, it all came back towards me after what all they've done.
So it was wrong time, wrong place to be, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel to be in that situation?
Not good at all. And at a young age, I was already scared of what might happen to me.
What made you hang out with those friends?
I guess because I was just young and dumb, not knowing any better. I guess it just wasn't on my mind since I was so young.
Do you think, like, if you had the right people to help you out, would it have changed your situation, or,
Yeah, it definitely would have changed.
So I got in the system when I was about 13 years old. Just being out there young, didn't know anything. I've been incarcerated over 13 times.
May I ask?
Ask whatever y'all want to ask. It's fine.
May I ask, why were you incarcerated?
The very first time was a runaway. Something very small, something simple. After that, it was just kind of like a domino effect. Everything else just came after. The longest I've ever done was 18 months in a youth detention center, and I went there for a robbery by force. I went when I was 14, and I came home when I was 16. 2 days before I was gonna get released, I was doing everything to stay. I did not want to go home. I cried. And they were like,
Why'd you want to stay?
because you form a bond with people. I've been away from my mama for almost 2 years. So you don't want to go home. It's like you became, if I'm around you every single day, all day, I have to sleep with you, shower with you, eat with you all day, every day for almost 2 years straight. I don't want to leave you behind. Now I got to go home, but you got to stay here another 2-3 years. I don't want to, no. We have a lot of people with mental health issues because of that. You adapt to where you are because it's a survival instinct. And I wasn't the only one. It was a lot of girls like that. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is my favorite color. So this is my favorite color, so that I want to use that one. That's my favorite color right there.
I really would like for officers to understand that a lot of this stuff are situations that, people that's incarcerated. And I don't like to say prisoners, and we don't even like to say inmates. You know what I'm saying? But people that's incarcerated, a lot of this stuff is mental. And I feel like the officers, they need really to be able to deal with more mental illnesses. And it may not be to the point where people think that mental illness is just, hey, this guy, he slurs speech, or he can't understand and comprehend, he has the mind of a child. No, man, living up where we grew up at, man, you got a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people be dealing with trauma and stress that they don't know how to, basically, deal with it, so we act out. Mm-hmm. And I feel that if more, police officers or more correctional officers understood that, they know how to deal with people better,
Do you mind telling us a little bit about your story?
I did 3 years over fighting in high school. I don't feel like I should have got 3 years for it. I mean, it wasn't like my first time getting in trouble, so I do understand that aspect, but I feel like 3 years was still a little far-fetched.
What were some resources that you think you could have used prior to going to the Department of Juvenile Justice?
Probably a mentorship program, community service, something to help instead of take time away and stuff like that,
Yeah, things to like guide you or spend your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than going through incarceration, what do you think would have been a better way to go about the problem?
I'm not really sure about that one.
You're a minor. Like, what you do shouldn't depict what the rest of your life is going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, the crowd that you were with committed some theft, but then we don't really even know why did they do it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reasoning behind it? That scar is still there, perhaps.
I guess just being like growing up in poverty and stuff like that, I guess it just makes you do a lot of things, especially a lot of kids in Savannah that grew up on like the tough sides of town and stuff like that. It just make them do a lot of things.
It would be great to get like both perspectives. I thought about like a restorative method where if they have reunited with the victim, maybe they could have just talked about it and they would have listened to both sides. How did it impact the people they stole from, and why did they even do it? It's definitely better than just throwing someone in jail and saying, this is what you did, now you have to pay for it, right?
I'm 12 and I'm in 6th grade.
Is this your first time getting in trouble at school?
No, I get in trouble every now and then. Sometimes I be wrong, but sometimes I don't. It was one time, this was like last week or a week or two ago when I had like these bracelets on and it had beads, and then one of them had beads on it, and I was taking one of them off and it broke. Like the bracelet broke and the beads went everywhere. And that's when I picked up most of them, or the ones that I see on the ground. And then some students got some beads and they started throwing them around. And one student got hit in the face with a bead. And then I got in trouble for that, and I had to sit inside the office for my whole recess and my lunch. And I felt like that wasn't the right thing, because, like, that's not my fault. I mean, my bead broke. It's not like I did it on purpose. It's not my fault. That I can't control what somebody else do. If somebody else stole bead, they should be the one getting in trouble, not me.
Can you tell me a little bit about what happened and why you're suspended?
Well, a teacher said she seen me put my arm around a female, and she wanted to move me at a different seat, and I didn't want to really sit in that seat, and she got mad, frustrated with me, and then she said, come to the office, and I got suspended for a day.
Do you feel like that was fair?
No.
What did you want the school to do instead?
I wanted some proof. I don't like being blamed for something and you can't tell me when I did it, who I did it to. Like, you can't just tell me I put my arm around some girl, not even telling me who it is or nothing. Like, you could have went up to the girl and asked her or something. Cause, like, they got cameras in the school for a reason. Like, you can't, I'm not gonna sit, I'm not doing that. I don't do that. Schools discipline got to get better, because when you send a kid out of school, the school job is to make a kid learn. So if you send them out of school, you suspend them, then they at home chilling, they not learning. So then you could be a different discipline that would, like, you feel me, still punish them, but at the same time they still be learning, because learning is already a punishment. But you learn and you get punished at the same time. But yeah, definitely need to handle discipline better.
Do you feel like sometimes when there are police officers at school, do they target certain people?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Who do they target?
Probably black people, black African American people. But, like, especially other kids who's always in trouble, always getting in trouble, they probably target those people too, or look at them more suspicious. I mean, like, if you see a regular student that doesn't get in trouble walking in the hall, you won't ask them where they're going or what they're doing. But if you see a student that's always in trouble, you probably ask them what they're doing or where they're going.
Do you ever feel like sometimes that's racism?
Yeah, it's racist. Mm-hmm.
This is my saying that I say all the time. And even with my own kids, I try to live this. And if I had someone to take me from out of the situations that I was in, not for me to live with them, but to show me more, because I'm a firm believer, if you see more, you'll want more. And if you want more, you'll do more. You'll be surprised, a lot of these kids never been out of Savannah. A lot of these kids never been to Atlanta or Florida or to the mountains or not just to this beach, but to a real beautiful beach. And I feel like if we take these kids from out of their situations and tell them it's more than playing basketball, more than being a rapper, more than playing football, there's other stuff that they can do out here. They'll want more because they saw more and they'll do more.
So it seems like rehabilitation is like a huge thing that Chatham County needs to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
If there was like a way that you could create the steps for rehabilitation for people that have been incarcerated and coming out, what would that look like?
I would say starting off with jobs, stuff like that. Getting people back close to their children. I feel like just starting that step one. Something as, like I say, something as small as a job, showing them how to
Be responsible.
Yeah, be very responsible with their money, definitely life skills, things like that. Even if it's just a class that they have to attend, stuff like that really helps, and it goes a long way. That stuff is very stressful. Worrying about where you're gonna get your next meal, worrying about where you're gonna shower at. But I know someone right now it's like every time he come home, he just go right back. Now that I'm older, I understand. That's much easier for him.
I did my 3 years in Juvenile. I came home, got a little bit more trouble, but I've been keeping a straight path so far right now.
So what are some ways that local organizations could have helped you move forward?
I was with the TIP organization as soon as I came back, so they pretty much helped me, but I feel like you need more programs like that.
Yeah.
Or something like that for people transitioning back home or back to society or whatever. I recommend that to everybody that got incarcerated mentally, you know, like coming home. If I didn't have her, you know, pushing me in the right way, I would have been right back.
Yeah.
And she helped me get an ID, driver's license, stuff like that. Stuff you're gonna need to get a job and stuff, you know, to move up with life. So, yeah, I feel like she put me in the right.
Like kind of gave you some hope, like, okay, I can at least give you a foot in the
At least gave me the tools.
Yeah, the tools.
Yeah, to, you know, make my own decisions with what I want to do with it.
I want to be able to build a relationship with the Deep Center so that I can share my story to let these guys see, hey man, this guy used to do this, he's just like me, just like my dad, or just like my uncle, but look at him, he made a change, he's successful, he's an entrepreneur. I want to be like this guy, and I want to be able to give myself to them. You know, I want to be able to give my thoughts, my mind, my past, my experiences, my new life to these young men and young ladies and show them as a whole nother way. It needs to be more.
What are some ways that local organizations could help you move forward?
Keeping kids out the streets, keeping them involved with like more activities and stuff like that. To keep them away from all the violence that's going on right now. Just to keep me out of trouble and stuff like that. Just to keep me on track and to work hard knowing not to want to do any of that again.
What's your goals moving forward?
My goals is to stay out of trouble, just continue to keep working hard and just stay up out the way. And to make my family proud.